Namaste, and a special namaste to all our YouTube friends who keep watching our videos and writing so many comments. I'm really happy to see all your comments because it motivates me to make more videos like this. And today's video, you would have seen the heading, which was suicidal thoughts. Do you have suicidal thoughts? It's about suicide. So why did I take up this topic? I wanted to talk about this topic because of late I have been seeing a lot of people talking about this. Generally, if it is to counsel somebody about their suicidal thoughts, then it has to be done in person, and we have to take into consideration that person's life situation, and only depending on that we can counsel. But today when I speak here in this video, it's going to be a public video. It's going to be something which I will speak in common for everybody, and you may be wondering how that will work. But I have taken this up particularly because I am doing online counseling from the time the pandemic started from last year, so more than a year now. I've been doing online counseling, and before that I used to do direct counseling. Of late in this online counseling, what I'm seeing is lot of different people come, different ages, different backgrounds. I see a lot of people, students from the 10th standard, 12th standard also. And very often nowadays I see people saying, I know I've lost the will to live. I feel like just giving up. I feel like sometimes I feel like committing suicide. And some people have even made attempts. So that is why I thought, let me talk about this, because if you have such thoughts, this video I hope will be really helpful to you to get rid of these thoughts. Even if you do not have any such thoughts, I am very happy about that. But you may come across somebody either in your family or in your friend circle or colleagues or somebody who may talk in a very dejected manner. If you come across somebody like that, maybe you can help them with whatever I am going to suggest here. Now, generally, when does a person think of suicide? When he is unable to face life for many reasons. Some reasons which I have been seeing. One is when a person gets cheated, especially with money. If he has given a lot of money to somebody for some particular purpose, and the other person either ran away with the money or lost the money or something like that, and that money doesn't come back, and he feels totally let down, and he knows it is his mistake, which he may not be able to rectify very easily. So then he says, I don't feel like living, I feel like committing suicide. We have heard that. Again, if it is a business, and if somebody has lost money in the business, particularly sometimes in the stock exchange, suddenly when there is a big loss, many people say, I don't want to live. So when there is a problem like that, either with the business or whatever activities they are involved in, something goes wrong and there is a big loss, then they are not able to face it and they say, I don't feel like living. We have come across that also. Then there are people, one very important topic here is love failure. Again and again I have counseled so many people in the last 20, 25, 30 years. So many people. Either it is a boy who says, this girl was in love with me, she was talking nicely, but now suddenly she is rejecting me and I am not able to take it, I don't feel like living. Or it is a girl who says, this boy was talking to me, now suddenly he has moved away and I feel rejected, I don't feel like living. So either way, it is somewhere where a person is unable to face rejection by somebody else. That rejection makes a person feel very despondent and he says, why should I live? That is one scenario. Then another scenario is where youngsters, they write entrance exams and sometimes they don't get through, like IAS exams, NEET exams, so many are there. And when they don't get through, then what happens is they say, how will I face others? How will I answer others? How will I face this situation? So not being able to face that failure often makes people think about suicide, and it is a well proved fact that it is only failure in certain aspects of life, certain areas of life, which makes people go towards suicide. Many have attempted, many have committed also. And of late I have been seeing a lot of students in the 10th standard and 12th standard who keep talking about suicide. So it is very difficult for us to, accept it like that. Earlier it was only because of these specific reasons. But today when I say I meet students on the online counseling sessions, and I meet others also, cross section of people, Sometimes people say, I don't know why I don't feel like living. I somehow feel there's no point in living. My will to live seems to have died down. This is how people are talking. Many people are talking nowadays. That is why I thought I must make a video about this topic, and whatever I can say, let me say. There may be much more which can be told, but whatever I can contribute, whatever may help somebody, that I wanted to speak, and that is the purpose of making this video. Now, if those thoughts are there, the suicidal thoughts are there, and one wants to get rid of them, what can you do? Let us look at how we can change this. See, number one, whether you have the thoughts or somebody else has the thoughts, the most important factor today at this point of time, I am making this video towards the end of June 2021, when the pandemic is still there. We are already into it for more than a year, and we don't know when this is going to be completely over. So something called pandemic fatigue has come into the minds of many people. I am seeing it. So what is happening is, without any personal problems also, people are finding it difficult to be enthusiastic about life. Sometimes when I talk to students from the 12th who are doing 12th standard or 10th standard, they say, why should I live? What is the point of living? I don't feel like living. And they make attempts for suicide also, many of them. So what is happening is that the change in lifestyle that we have been seeing for more than a year now, from 2020 March, it's been like this, so it's more than a year, it's June 2021 now. So what is happening is, life has undergone a very big change. Some people, they feel, they are not able to go to a shop, they are not able to meet their friends or relatives, they are not able to travel. They used to travel everywhere, now they cannot travel. So all these changes also can create a kind of despondency, or a desperate kind of feeling, or a kind of stress in the mind that there's nothing in life to be done. And then situations at home. See, now work from home has become a culture, yes, in many families. So sometimes what happens is, if it is a woman, then managing the office work, and supposing there are small children, managing the children also. See, once she goes to office, it's a different thing. But if she's sitting at home doing the office work and children are there, it's very difficult. And even if it is a man, even then, sitting at home and doing office work is not easy. Some people, they may not have that privacy at home. They may not have an entire room for themselves. So there are elder people in the house. They may be talking, the wife may be talking, or the husband may be talking. And then children are there. They expect you to talk to them, play with them. So with all this, the stress builds up. And whatever work they are doing for the office also requires their full attention. So when all that comes together also, people are not able to manage. So when somebody has such thoughts, then what you can tell them, or what you can think for yourself is, you are not the only person facing this pandemic. We all have to remind ourselves this fact, that it is not a personal problem affecting one person. It is a problem which is affecting the whole world, and each one is going through this phase of life in his or her own way, depending on the life situation. So there is no point in trying to run away from this. Where will you run away? And suicide is not the solution. It is not a solution for any kind of problem. So first thing to remember is, this is not your personal problem. This is not anybody's personal problem. It is something which the whole world is facing. So we have to take it a little easily, because everybody is going through the same thing. And what we must remember is, this too shall pass. Yes, we are like more than 1 year and 3 months, 4 months into it. Maybe it will take a few more months, or maybe 1 more year, we do not know. But somewhere it will end. Somewhere the pandemic will be over, and we will get back to normal life. So that is something we can hold in our mind. That is a kind of a ray of hope which we all must hold on to. That is very important. And then the second thing I would like to bring to your mind is, before all this started, now supposing it is the life situation now which is creating this feeling in your mind, or maybe it is a love failure, maybe it is a loss of money, maybe it is some other kind of failure, whatever it is. How was life before that? Think about it. How were you before that? What kind of person were you? What were all the successes that you have seen in life? Small things. Wherever you experienced more confidence, wherever you were able to deal with something very well and you felt proud of yourself, wherever people appreciated you, it could be even in your childhood, doesn't matter. Think about it. So when you start thinking about those successes in your life, then automatically the mind goes to a different wavelength altogether. Your thinking will change. and you will start understanding that you are not this person, you were like that, which means again in the future you can be like that, you can be a confident person, you can deal with things in a different way. There are so many different ways to deal with the situation and you are capable of it. So the mind will start working in a very different way. Then talking about it a little philosophically in terms of karma, I just want to relate one anecdote here. It's a real life anecdote. There was a lady who came for counseling more than 10 years back. This was when I was seeing them directly, because these days it is only online counseling that I do. So this lady came and she started crying and she said, my husband always uses very bad words and he scolds me all the time. I don't feel like living. I feel so depressed. I feel let down, this and that. And then finally she said, either I should kill him or I should commit suicide. One of those two things. I cannot continue this life. You know, when a person is so vehement, trying to make them understand that suicide is not the best thing to think about, doesn't work immediately. So then I just told her, see, if you have married this person and you're going through all this suffering, then it is some kind of a karma which is being enacted in your life. Immediately she agreed. She said, yes, it is a big karma. That is why I married him. That's why I'm suffering. Then I said, now if you try to end this karma in all these ways that you are thinking about, which is not right, if you try to end it abruptly, then what will happen to the remaining karma? Then in your next life, maybe he will come back as your husband and again you will have to go through the same thing. You know, the moment I said that, she said, what do you mean? I said, why not finish it here? Why not find a way in which you can go through it easily and finish it off? Immediately there was a total change on her face, unbelievable change. That one thought changed her mind completely. And she said, okay, you have told me, madam, I am going to complete this karma. Whatever he wants coffee, he wants this, he wants that, whatever he is asked for, I will just do it and I will complete this karma. He should never come back in any other life to me. I was quite amazed, but you know, afterwards I met her many times. She attended many of my classes. So then she became a very happy person. She said, I stopped crying. Why should I cry because of him? Let him talk anything. I will do my cooking. I will do my puja. I will be happy with myself. That was the turning point. And what happened actually is when she became like that, she stopped crying. The husband started wondering why she is not crying, why he is not able to affect her in the way he was doing earlier. So he started becoming silent first and then he changed completely. Now her life is absolutely different and very happy. She is very happy. So that way, if you look at it, whatever you are undergoing today is the prarabdha karma which is being enacted in your life. So why not finish it off completely so that it does not get carried over to the next life? That's one way of looking at it. And then another point which I wanted to share here is, if you think of it from the point of view of meditation, then we have so many chakras in our body. There are 720 chakras, so much of theory is there, but there are 7 major chakras, out of which I would like you to focus on the Mooladhara chakra. Mooladhara chakra is the one which gives the survival instinct, the will to live, the will to survive, and that presence of mind to survive, all that, and the determination, all comes from the Mooladhara chakra. Not only the will to live, the will to succeed, the will to do well in whatever you are doing, that enthusiasm for life, everything comes from there. This Mooladhara chakra is at the base of the spine, behind, on the back side of the body. So some of you may be knowing chakras. Even if you do not know, you can just focus on that area. You can close your eyes and sit and focus on that area. And whether it is for yourself or for somebody else, if you focus on that chakra and mentally send energy to that chakra will bloom like a flower. Any blockages from that chakra will simply get released. And once the blockages are released and the chakra blooms, then you will find that the thought forms completely change. I have done this for many people in my counseling sessions, because sometimes talking doesn't help. They don't accept what we say, or they just nod their head and they go back to their old ways of thinking. So if somebody talks about suicide, then what I do is I ask them to simply sit and close their eyes, and I simply send energy to their Mooladhara chakra and activate that chakra. Once that chakra gets activated, then when I talk to this person, the thought forms are different. He says, why should I die? Let me find some ways. I know I can get over it. I know I can go through this. I know I can somehow manage. So the talking, the thinking, everything becomes different. So there are so many ways in which you can deal with depression, you can deal with your thought forms, you can deal with maybe the way your mind is thinking. Even if it is thoughts about suicide, you do not have to entertain them. You can brush them aside, you can release them from the mind, throw them away, and you can start thinking of how to overcome the situation in which you are. And that once you start focusing your mind on that, I'm sure you will have so many ways of doing it, and once your thought forms change, life becomes much better to live.